One word got a song bleeped out on every country station in America. One music video got pulled off the air for showing a bare backside. And one song made country fans cheer about a murder. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly which songs made country fans angry, nervous, or both. Here's the thing about country music in the 2000s. It wasn't just a decade of big hats and bigger hooks. It was a decade where country music tore itself apart over what country music even meant. We're counting down 10 songs that stirred real controversy. Some got banned, some got bleeped, and we're saving the most surprising one for last. Let's start with a song that didn't just stir controversy. It became a battle cry. Murder on Music Row started life as a deep cut by Larry Cordell and Lonesome Standard Time back in 1999. But when George Strait and Alan Jackson recorded their own version, everything changed. The song accused the industry of killing off real country music. It pointed out that legends like George Jones and Merle Haggard couldn't get played on the radio anymore. The lyrics didn't hold back. They got away with murder down on Music Row. Here's the twist though. This song barely cracked the top 40 on the charts, but it won the Country Music Association's Vocal Event of the Year. Somehow, a song that radio stations mostly ignored became one of the most talked about tracks of the decade. That's the kind of controversy that outlasts the charts. In 2003, Rascal Flatts released I Melt. Nothing was scandalous about the lyrics. This one's all about the music video. For just a split second, the video showed band member Joe Don Rooney's bare backside. It also featured a shower scene with his on-screen love interest. Now, that might sound tame by today's standards, but at the time, it made waves. This video is widely considered one of the first in country music history to feature nudity. GAC pulled the video entirely when the band wouldn't send an edited version. CMT, on the other hand, kept playing it. And here's the kicker. That video went on to top CMT's countdown that October. So while one network banned it, another made it a hit. Country music can surprise you sometimes. Kid Rock's crossover into country looked like a long shot. Then, Picture happened.
Living my life in a slow hill.
The 2002 duet with Sheryl Crow climbed all the way to number 21 on the country charts. It even crossed over to the pop charts, peaking at number 4. But there was a problem. One line in the song mentions cocaine. Country radio has always been touchy about drug references. So instead of banning the song outright, stations just bleeped the word out. One word is all it took to turn a crossover hit into a radio compromise. By 2009, the country wasn't just hurting financially, it was divided over what to do about it. John Rich released Shuttin' Detroit Down right in the middle of that divide. The song spoke to people who felt like the government's response to the crisis wasn't reaching regular working folks. It became an anthem for anyone who thought the bailouts and the policies coming out of Washington missed the point. And almost instantly, it became a flashpoint. People who already agreed with that message loved the song. People who didn't hated it. Here's what's interesting though. Around the same time, Bruce Springsteen released his album Wrecking Ball, which tackled a lot of the same economic pain. The two songs were aimed at the same hardship, but they got adopted by completely different audiences. Springsteen became the soundtrack for one side of the argument. Rich became the soundtrack for the other. Same recession, same heartbreak, two completely different reactions. That tells you everything about how divided the country really was.
See his calloused hands.
Trace Adkins built a career on big, bold country anthems. But in 2005, one of his most personal songs caused a problem he never expected. Arlington told a story about a soldier laid to rest at Arlington National Cemetery. Adkins meant it as a tribute, but military families heard the lyrics differently. They felt the song's narrative didn't reflect what they'd actually experienced. The objections were serious enough that Adkins made a decision very few artists ever make. He pulled the song from the radio himself. It wasn't a label decision. It wasn't a programming committee. It was the artist himself deciding the backlash mattered more than the airplay. And here's the part that might surprise you. Even today, Arlington still divides people within the military community. Some still see it as a heartfelt tribute. Others still take issue with how it told the story.
I'm proud to be on this peaceful piece of property.
At first glance, Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy looks like the obvious controversial pick. The title alone sounds like trouble. But here's the twist. It wasn't the innuendo that upset traditional country fans in 2004. It was the sound itself, big and rich blended rap, rock, and country into one song. And for fans who grew up on Merle Haggard and George Strait, that fusion felt like an invasion. This wasn't a lyrics problem, it was an identity problem. The song was loud, it was different, and it didn't sound like anything country radio had played before. That's exactly why it caused a stir. But here's the irony. Despite all the pushback at the time, Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy became one of the most recognizable country songs of the decade. It still gets played today. Sometimes the songs that scare traditionalists the most end up becoming the new tradition. In 2008, a young Taylor Swift was on the rise. But before her song Picture to Burn ever reached country radio, there was a problem buried in the lyrics. The original version used a slur as an insult. Even back then, that kind of language was considered offensive. So before the song ever made it to the airwaves, Swift made a change and swapped the line out. It's easy to overlook this one because the controversy got handled before most people ever heard the original version, but it's worth remembering. It's a reminder that even superstars have had moments where they had to humble themselves and course correct in real time. After the September 11th attacks, the entire country was looking for something to hold on to. Toby Keith gave them Courtesy of the Red, White, and Blue. The song was loud, angry, and unapologetically patriotic. Critics didn't hold back either. Some called it jingoistic, some called it racist. Keith claimed that the song was about retaliation against those responsible for the attacks, not about any particular group of people. Despite the criticism, Keith's fans never wavered, and the song became a massive hit. Tim McGraw's Red Rag Top came out in 2002. It tells the story of a young couple. The girl gets pregnant, and the lyrics hint, without ever saying it outright, that they chose to terminate the pregnancy. That subject alone was enough to make some radio stations nervous. One Nashville station actually pulled the song after listener complaints. The program director later admitted he was just being safe. But he reversed the decision days later. His reasoning? He said, "I think the song is reality. We're not in the censor business." Despite the controversy, the song climbed into the top 5 on the airplay charts. 3 years before the Dixie Chicks became radio outcasts over politics, they released Goodbye Earl. The song tells the story of two best friends, Mary Ann and Wanda. Wanda was married to a monster of a man named Earl. He was physically abusive, ignored a restraining order, and hurt Wanda so badly that she wound up hospitalized. Since the law didn't protect her, Mary Ann and Wanda took matters into their own hands. They poisoned him, wrapped him in a tarp, tossed him in the trunk, and got rid of the evidence. Some listeners couldn't get past it. They felt it was wrong to make light of murder no matter the circumstances behind it. But here's what's interesting. The backlash didn't stop the song from becoming a top 20 hit. A lot of listeners connected with the story underneath the shock value. It wasn't really about celebrating violence. It was about recognizing the violence against women that goes unnoticed and unchanged. So here's what ties all 10 of these songs together. Every single one of them got attention not in spite of the controversy, but partly because of it. Country music in the 2000s wasn't just changing sound, it was changing what topics were even allowed at the table. Abortion, murder, drugs, politics, war, identity. Songs that, a decade earlier, never would have made it past a program director's desk. That's the real legacy of this list. Controversy didn't kill these songs. In almost every case, it made them unforgettable. So tell us, which of these songs stirred things up in your house? Drop it in the comments, we'd love to know. And if you love digging into the stories behind country music, hit subscribe. We bring you a new deep dive every week into the songs and artists that shaped this music. You won't want to miss the next one.